Hello Flosstube, I'm Angelica and this is Rose Red Crafts. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, and it's time for a stitchy update. I have a lot to share today. In fact, everything that's on this top shelf has been touched, so I will be showing everything that's on this top shelf. So it has been 2 weeks since my last video. It feels like it's been a lot longer. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just because all the projects that I've touched that it's felt like it's been a lot longer. But I think I posted some around the 5th or 6th of January. So it's only been 2 weeks. I am conflicted on how often I should be recording these updates because of all the progress that I've done. It makes me want to do these more frequently, but I just don't have the time for that. So I don't know if I will be doing weekly, bi-week, or if I'm going to do weekly updates every 2 weeks, or if I'm going to start doing monthly updates again. I'm not sure. Like I said in my last video, I do want to do a vlog style, but I just can't seem to get going on that. And I don't know, because of my stitching style, I don't know if that would actually work right now. But it's just up in the air how frequently I'll be posting this year, or at least for a while. But for right now, today, I have 17 whips to share. I have put in 12,011 stitches approximately. So as I said, it is Tuesday. It is lunchtime on Tuesday for me right now. As I'm recording, I had taken my little to school, came home with the intention of writing down my numbers and stuff that I've done. Because I had filled out the paper yesterday with all the whips, and then all I had to do today was fill in, get all my stitch counts together. That actually took a long time than I was expecting. It took like 2.5 hours. So instead of jumping in and doing this video, I did stop and take lunch, just so that I'm not like having a growling stomach and stuff while I'm trying to share, and then just try to speed through. But it also means that I have to go pick my little up from school in an hour. So if for any reason this takes me longer than an hour to record, I may have to come back and finish it up after I pick him up from school. We don't have session today, so that's why we don't have session today, which is something he does after school, immediately after school. So no session today. He's back at school because yesterday was a holiday, and my husband's at work because he works on Tuesdays. So between my husband's work schedule and my little school schedule and appointment schedule, it seems like Tuesdays are probably my best day for filming if I want to record uninterrupted. I have and will continue to record while he's home, but if I have to, but yeah, it may be I may have to fill right into my schedule that Tuesdays are filming day or are recording days or Flosstube days. So we'll see if that's what ends up happening. So at this time, the way I decide what to work on is I am playing Flosstube Frenzy. I am doing Monopoly stitching. And then I also am doing a whip of the week. So for whip of the week, what I have done is I have decided that for the first 38 weeks of this year, that's starting January 4th, I think it was a Sunday. So whatever the Sunday, the first full week of January, going all the way through until late September, the last week of September that has a full Sunday to Saturday week. I think it's like the 24th, somewhere in that vicinity. So for the first 38 weeks of the year, I will be pulling a project once a week as a focus piece just for that week. I have pulled two. Um, one of them I felt a little underwhelmed that I didn't have as much time to put into it as I would like, so it will be put back into the rotation as an option to get pulled later on for another whip of the week. I also don't expect to actually there. I know that, and I know there are some weeks that I just won't get around to it at all. So at least I got some stitches in on it. For Flosstube Frenzy, I chose 10 creators and assigned them each a project, and then I also have a bonus creator as my Stiach team that I'm on. So anytime that they post, somebody on that team posts a video, I will count it as one. I also have a list of everybody that should be on my team, but I'm not sure if anybody's left or won't be participating this year. The colors don't mean anything. It was just the marker that I grabbed that particular day. So for Flosstube Frenzy, I went back and forth about what my rules are for the game, and I couldn't decide. I didn't want it to be overcomplicated, and I didn't want it too simple, but what I ended up doing is just choosing 100 stitches per video. It doesn't matter what kind of video they post, as long as it's a video and not a short, then they get 100 stitches on that project. And it's been working out good. I think if I started to get a little overwhelmed this week because I was focusing more on Monopoly stitching than on the Flosstube Frenzy stitching. And so I started to fall behind, but I was able to catch back up. So I am all caught up on my Flosstube Frenzy stitching right now. So I think I'll probably keep it at just a simple 100 stitches per video. For Monopoly stitching, I've completed 4 rounds, and the first team made its way around the board, so I had to do a side quest. That team that made it around the board was my what did I have it listed as, like crafty admin. So what I decided to do for the side quest for that was to get on Instagram, which I have been MIA from for the past year or so. I got back on Instagram and I made a huge post, or 2 posts, because I had too many pictures. And what I did was I shared basically my before and after pictures for the year of 2025. So it was kind of like a whip parade in a sense, or like a whip progress parade. So it was I'll add in a picture if you haven't seen it, but I posted what the whip looked like at the beginning of 2025, what it looked like at the end of 2025, how many stitches I put in on it, and then what my total percentage is on that project as of the 1st, January 1st. So and because I have so many projects, I had to break it up into 2 different posts. So I was able to do, the first post was whips being brought into 2025, and then the second post is all the new starts for 2025. And then I also, since I was already on Instagram and I'm trying to get back into it, I did go through all of the channels that I'm following, and I unfollowed over 200. I've unfollowed over 200 accounts. Most of them, I mean, I didn't have to, but if it helped with my algorithm. So I unsubscribed from or unfollowed some of the people, like entertainment wise, some channels that I had been following, just so that I would like to keep my Instagram as close to just cross stitch related content as possible. I don't want to out anybody, but it was, yeah, I just had to slim it down. I did get rid of a lot of diamond painting Instagrams also. Most of them were like old accounts that aren't even being used anymore. So I didn't have to do that, but I've kind of wanted to like cleaning out your spam folder is kind of what it felt like. So um, yeah, I straightened up my Instagram account a little bit, and then made those two large posts. But and that took a long time. So that was my side quest that I completed for that team. And then I went and did my stitching for that they got after that. Um, and yeah, I am all caught up on all my stitches right now. That's why it felt like an ideal time to come and do an update. Um, because yeah, I'm all caught up on my Monopoly stitching. I'm all caught up on Flosstube Frenzy. Um, I was considering taking a break for the next few days from cross stitch and focus on some other things. Non-cross stitch related stuff. I didn't do a very good job over the last 2 weeks about tracking my stitching hours, um, partially because sometimes I'm just too sleepy or distracted. Sometimes I'm multitasking, and so I just didn't. I knew that it was going to be a struggle this year to try to track what how long I spent on certain activities. Um, So I already knew that was going to be an issue. So I'm not like kicking myself or anything. Like I knew this was going to be, um, difficult. But I also know that I'm confident that I've gone over my allotted hours for the month. Um, um, I think for the month of January so far, I know I said I did 12,000. That was since my last video. I also had put in work onto other projects before that I shared in my last video. So I was over 13,000 stitches for the month of January so far, and it's the 20th. So, and then also this is 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. So if I participate, then I'm going to be doing a lot of stitching this weekend. So I was contemplating taking a break from stitching for a few days, at least until this weekend, and do other things, whether it's gaming or non-gaming stuff. So I may like take a break. Maybe I'll diamond paint. I've been wanting to diamond paint for the last few days. I have been wanting to diamond paint, but if I had to bust it out right now, today, I don't feel like doing it. So it's one of those things I got to do it when I feel like doing it. But I was so focused on finishing my stitching for Monopoly. Oh, so one last thing before I start pulling projects. As I said before, I'm going to repeat myself, I know. I worked on 17 whips. I put in 12,011 stitches since the last video. So this is how much I'll be showing you right now. Progress I'll be showing you now. For the year so far, since it's only January, I put in 13,743 stitches. Frenzy, Flosstube Frenzy, of the creators that I'm using, they've posted 27 videos. So I owed 2,700 stitches. For Monopoly stitching, for the four rounds that I've done, I owed 4,560 stitches with my first team round in go. 1,900 stitches went towards whip of the week, which means that 2,852 stitches was just excess stitching, just because extra threads, extra colors, extra sections, whatever happened. That's how I put in almost 3,000 stitches over what I needed to stitch. I'm going to start pulling the whips now. So I'm going to start with the projects assigned for Flosstube Frenzy, and I will let you know how much I worked on it, how much went to, how much is from Frenzy, how much is from Monopoly, and then everything that I worked on. First up is Pokemon Type Chart. This is assigned to Becky's Madness for Crafting. She has posted 4 videos this month. I believe that when I posted my Flosstube last, nobody had posted any videos yet. I'm pretty confident because I don't have any notes that say otherwise. So so she's posted 4 videos this month, which means that I owe her 400 stitches for Frenzy. Um, this project also got pulled for Monopoly of 280 stitches, and then but I put in 1,244 stitches total. So what did I do? I did, well, okay, so I think what happened is, first off, I think I had these 3, sorry, I think I had these ones were done. I'm pretty sure I thought I had this one finished and then realized that I didn't actually put this dark strip of orange. So I did this dark strip and then this, and then I also started water. Water is all done except for I haven't done the white for the words. And then I also went ahead and brought the lines all the way down. They did not go all the way down before. And then I think I had already had the lines all the way across. So what I had intended on doing is every time that I finish a tag, I would then bring the corresponding line all the way down, because doing lines is annoying, but also I'm not 100% confident on my counting. So it looks good. It looks like it's spaced appropriately. As you can see down here, I only did the dot. I dotted them so that because I think that's where it goes. But I would hate to put all the lines in and find out that I messed up somewhere and now I got a whole bunch of frogging to do. So yeah, the idea is after each tag, I'll bring the line down, and I haven't done that. So there was one day I went ahead and I just pulled all the lines down. Even though this one's not done, I brought it down just preemptively. But that means that when I go to do water on this side, I will need to pull the line all the way across also. So, okay. Next up is going to be Nostalgic Tarot. Nostalgic Tarot is assigned to Black Sheep Meat. She has not posted a Flosstube, but she has done 3 live streams on Twitch that I know of. Trying to figure out where to put this. This is not my favorite to share the progress on because because of the way I do it. Let me show you, actually. Okay, so Nostalgic Tarot. Let's see here. Pretty sure. Okay, I did this side. Okay, so first off, here's where I'm at. Okay. Because I'm doing this like the full width, it makes it hard to share. So, oof. I'm doing that wrong. Okay, so I'm just going to fold this and show you what I'm talking about. So, Nostalgic Tarot, first off, is from the Witchy Stitcher. So what I'm doing is one color at a time all the way across. So, so that there's 5 stitches of different colors on the way down. 5, 5, 5. So I choose the color and work it all the way across. Choose the color, work it all the way across. Doing it that way means I'm stitching this in hand. I'm not, I'm having to stitch it in hand. So because I have to move too much, it's too much of a hassle to keep moving my Q-snap. So let's see here. The Nostalgic Tarot, 300 stitches are from Frenzy, 160 is from Monopoly, and I put in a total of 498 stitches on this. But this is something I'm not trying to get a finish on this as far as the border is concerned. I'm not shooting for a finish of the border, but I really hope that I could have most of the border done this year, since I started this when I started this 24. It's been almost 2 years, and I'm slogging my way through it. So I'd really like to see some progress this year. Next up is Melisandre. Melisandre is assigned to Crafty Gaming Jamie. Jamie only posted 2 videos this month so far. It did not get called for Monopoly stitching, but it was called for Whip of the Week. So it was my first Whip of the Week this year. Or so week one, Whip of the Week is Melisandre. So I put in 1,699 stitches. So yeah, so yeah. So yeah. So $14.99, 1,499 stitches was for Whip of the Week. And I primarily focused on filling in these leaves, and then I also wanted to focus on getting this area filled in. So like this. So I'm focusing on this and bringing it down, filling it in. Next up is Dark Queen of the Sea. This is assigned to Cross Stitch the Globe, Stephanie. Since I'm not doing any fun rules, I think what I might do is if for any reason Allison decided to pop in on a video, maybe I'll do like double the stitching for that video. Yeah. So Dark Queen of the Sea, where am I at? Okay. So here's where I'm at, progress-wise. I did have to, if you're new here, I had to sew some fabric onto the edges because I had accidentally started this in the wrong orientation. Luckily, this is the very bottom of the chart, so I have 1 inch for framing, or for yeah. And then so I just have a little bit of extra on the bottom for, yeah. Anyways, So for Dark Queen, let's see here. Dark Queen. Stephanie's posted 5 videos, so I needed to put 500 stitches. It didn't get called for Monopoly, and I put in a total of 652 stitches. And then also, let's see here. I worked on this tentacle right here. I am doing this 2/2 on 32 count, and with the intention of doing 1/1 for the skin, but I will decide that later on. Also, I have it written down when I did the for all my stats, I had written it down that it was only at 10% complete, but I forgot that that was counting the background, and since I have dyed fabric, the background doesn't count. So my numbers are a little skewed there. So that's just a note to self. So because when I realized that like a day or two ago, and that's obviously well past when I posted that Instagram post. I had shared that or I have it written down as only 10% complete, but it's more than that because I'm not counting the the background. Okay, next is Lost Soul. I grabbed 2. Lost Soul is assigned to Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Let's see here. Jen posted 3 videos so far this month. So this got 300 for Frenzy, 240 stitches for Monopoly, and then I've done a total of 617 stitches. This is 1/1 full cross on 25 count. And I was working on filling this space in. So I'm trying to get all these, everything that's in here filled in. And then obviously bring it down. Next is going to be Golden Eyed Dragonling. This is assigned to Sammy J Stitches. Here's where I'm at. Sammy's posted 5 videos this month, so 500 stitches for Frenzy, 200 stitches for Monopoly stitching, and with a total of 1,022 stitches. I am doing this 2/1 half stitch on 25 count. The sun's really blowing it out. It was super foggy this morning. Even when I started filming, it was really foggy, and then the sun just popped out right before I started pulling out the projects. So most of this area right here is going to be block stitching, except for just a sprinkling of non-block stitch, but most of that's going to be block stitching, other than like 6. I think there's like 6 spots that aren't. But yeah, I was trying to get it all framed out so I could do fill in. I can't wait till I can actually do colors for this. I don't remember if I ever said it, but I did eventually purchase all the floss I needed for this project mid last year. I just haven't gotten it. I wanted to get a certain amount of the 310 in first. All right. Next is going to be Alice in Wonderland. This is what's assigned to my Stitch team, Sips and Stitches. So for Team Sips and Stitches, there have been 5 videos posted. Um, Christy's Corner has posted 4 videos, and Michelle Bendy Stitchy has posted once this month. Here's where I'm at. So 500 stitches for Frenzy, with a total of 517 stitches total. So no bonus stitching on this month so far. What I am doing, because so this is a PDF but not a pattern keeper PDF. So what I decided to do is pick a motif. So right now I'm working down here. So I did these two planters and this. And I know you can't see it, but though there is roses on. The roses have been stitched. It's just hard to see the white or the ecru. It's ecru on certain parts of this fabric. But I still like the overall look of it. So yeah, so I'm choosing a motif and I'm pre-counting how many stitches are in the motif to decide if I pre-count before I stitch for this particular project. It's just what's easier for me right now. So that's all of the Flosstube Frenzy so far this month. So my next 3 projects are assigned to creators for Frenzy, but they haven't posted yet. So they got pulled for Monopoly. In fact, let me put my... Okay. So next we're going to do, this is No Time Like the Present from Modern Folk Embroidery. This was, well, let me pull it out first. Here's where I'm at. I worked in this section, so I'm going to fold it so I could talk and point. Okay, so for this one, so for Monopoly, it was called, it only needed 100 stitches for Monopoly, and then it was my week 2 whip of the week. So in total, I put in 575 stitches. So in this project, I did not put in as much work into it as I would like, because this is on my short list of projects I would like to be either done or close to done before the year's over. So what I did was all the green, I brought it down. I think this green right here, and then I think all of this green and this green. I think that's all that got done. Not a whole lot. So this was like the 100 stitches for Monopoly, and then I ended up pulling this out for Stitchy Zoom on Sunday. I pulled it out because I have it on my phone as a I have the pattern already in Pattern Caper on my phone, so I went ahead and started it, and then after the Zoom I just kept going. Since it was a whip of the week, I just tried to keep going and bring it down. So now I just need to start the green zigzaggy thing that goes down here. Anyways, yeah, I would like to see significant progress on this year. Like I said, either finish it or get it close to a finish. Next is going to be Visit Nublar. It was a Monopoly call for 300 stitches. I put in 359. So what I did was all of this, it looks like white, but it's a really pale blue, I think. So all of this right here. This is 4 over 1 half stitch on 18 count. And then I have Video Game Sampler. Video Game Sampler has adult language on it. Just FYI. Here's where I'm at. So for this one, I worked on the upper area. I think I just worked on the words, I think. I think I did video. I feel like all I did was, it might have been this right here. So Video Game Sampler, Monopoly, it was called for 360 stitches for Monopoly. I put in 394 stitches. I don't think I said the spiel I usually say every time I pull this out during my whip parade. So just in case, for anybody who's new, I am stitching this. Okay. I started this as a surprise project for my husband. And so I am stitching it in a way similar to a mystery stitch along like Stitch, where you can't tell what the end project was going to be until you're far enough along. So I was stitching randomly across everywhere, just so he didn't know what it was. However, there has been 2 things that have happened this last year. One, it's getting tougher for me to want to do that. And 2, he doesn't sit near me when I'm stitching it anymore. In the past he did. He used to be in the same room as me when I was stitching on it, so that's why I would do that. Last year, he didn't. We hang out in different rooms now. Or we have our own spaces to watch TV or whatever. So he is not in the room with me anymore when I work on it. So I don't have to do that anymore. And he hasn't like tried to grab it or look at it or anything like that. So it's really not necessary. So as long as I'm just gonna start filling it in. I'm also was trying to save the adult words for last. Just so that I'm not always flashing it every time I want to show it, even though I am when I'm showing the cover art, but yeah. All right, next up is going to be Treasures. Treasures is by Ines Guerrero. It is a retired chart from it's a retired chart from Thread Geeks. Here's where I'm at. Treasures got called for 180 stitches for Monopoly, and I put in 240. Because this is So this is 2/1 half stitch, 25 count. I didn't 240 stitches isn't a lot. What happened is, I'm sure, is that I hit the 180 and I still had a length of black 310, so I just kept going until the floss ran out. So, and it's literally probably just this area right here. Next is Princess Belle. Princess Belle is also from Ines Guerrero, retired chart from Thread Geeks. I'm gonna keep saying Hade. I don't. It's just a habit. Here's where I'm at. Princess Belle needed 920 stitches for Monopoly. I put in 1,504 stitches. This is 2/1, so 2/1 half stitch. Her head goes in that empty space. This empty space is her head's going to start. I wanted to get this background started or filled in more before I start working on her head. I'm just going to pull these, because we're getting so close. So it looks like we're 5 projects away, and then that's everything. So I just pulled everything in front of me. So next up is going to be, what's this one called? It's called Advent Christmas Tree or something like that. I purchased it off Etsy. This is a big piece of fabric. And I just realized I am covering up my numbers. Okay, so this was called for Monopoly. It's assigned to one of the utilities right now. So it got landed on twice, so it needed 300 stitches. Here's where I'm at. And it needed 300. I stitched on it. I put in 333 stitches. So I am focusing on just getting those the squares lined up, and then I will work on the outside, the tree silhouette. Okay, next is going to be Fish and Chips from Long Dog. This got called for only 100 stitches for Monopoly. And I put in 108 stitches, so I didn't do any excess stitching on this. Which means that my thread, because I stitch until my thread runs out or I finish a color. Obviously this is monochromatic, so it was just the way that I ran out of thread eventually. So I'm guessing I worked on this right here, because I'm pretty sure there's a ship that goes right here, so that's probably where I'm at in this vicinity. So not 100 stitches isn't a lot. Next is going to be Sampler 208. This is from 2x2 Stitch Art. And here's where I'm at. Sampler 208, it got called for 700 stitches for Monopoly. Um, so, so in Monopoly, instead of the community chest and chance cards, I switched it out with whip cards. And the whip cards, for the whip cards, if after a project gets pulled, and then I roll a d12, and whatever number that lands on times 100 is how many stitches. So it got landed on 7, then that means this project gets 700 stitches. That's the same thing that I do with jail. Is also a d12, and then to purchase it's a d20. Anyways, I did all of this. This is what I did, and it's 700 stitches exactly. So I had done this first spot right here before I realized that I am actually had done that all in 2 over 1, and this is 1 over 1. I do know that there was a couple times when I was working on this side, I do recall there being a few times where I started to do it 2 over 1 and then stopped. And what I decided to do instead of stopping, because you would notice if I switched this from this to be 2 over 1 and then the rest of this to be 1 over 1. So I decided just to do this whole square in 2 over 1. I'll do these 2 squares in 1 over 1 and then decide how, if I want to do this one also in 2 over 1 or do or not. I don't know. But in a lot of monochromatic pieces, there are people who will do specific spots to be in a different color. So instead of doing a different color, I may decide to do certain spots just be a pop of 2 over 1, because this is going to be a very large piece, and I do really like the 1 over 1 look. I prefer it for this piece. So yeah, I think I'll just do a couple pops of 2 over 1 in a sprinkling of places throughout this piece. So this is the last thing I worked on, this one, for 700. So this is what finished me off. It's not the last piece I have to show you though. It's just what I grabbed. I have 2 more pieces and then we're done with the whips. Then I'm going to go pick up my little, and then I'll come wrap up the video after I come back, because I think there was a couple things I wanted to talk about. And I don't want to rush myself to end this and then come back in 2 weeks and forget what I was going to say. So next is going to be Wings of Change. Wings of Change was called for 400 stitches. Yeah, it got 400. It was 400 stitches for Monopoly, and then I put in 443 stitches. So that was all in this pink right here. I'm pretty sure this little pink was already here, so it was everything above it. This is a piece that I was going to do a color conversion on it, but I don't trust my color conversions, so I just left it as is. Okay, and the last whip I have to share is Persephone's Garden. Here's where I'm at. Let's see here. Can I get the whole thing? So Persephone's Garden was only called for 320 stitches for Monopoly. And I decided that I wanted to try to get this tree, the top of the tree done. Um, and I ended up putting in 1,106 stitches before putting it down. So before I think I had just a little bit started on these two branches, like they were barely started. So I filled in the rest of these branches, and then everything above it is all new. So this is 2/1 full cross on 32 count. And this is one of my favorite pieces of fabric that I've dyed. This, Alice in Wonderland, and the Owl Forest Alice in Wonderland that I showed, and then Halloween movie Sal from Atomic Tiki Pins. Those are my 3 favorite dyed fabrics that I've done. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and go get my little, and then I will wrap up the video when I come back. Hi, so I'm back from picking my little up from school. It took a little bit longer than I expected. The teacher wanted to chat for a little while, which we don't usually do. But he should be situated for the next few minutes. I don't really have that much more to say. I thought that if I started feeling rushed towards the end of, or the last 15-20 minutes of this video, I started feeling rushed as I was showing the whips, and I thought that the time that it would take me to walk to and from the school would give me a little bit of clarity of if there's anything else important I wanted to go over. But I was distracted with other thoughts, so I can't really think of anything else that I need to talk about other than the fact that of what I'm going to be doing. So, as I said, today is Tuesday. I don't know if this video is going to get posted either tonight or tomorrow morning. And then for the next few days, I don't know where I'm going to focus my time. I have been having the itch to diamond paint or spend time on one of my video games. But if I had to pick something right this second, I want to stitch. So I'm not really sure where my focus is going to be for the next few days. I do know that this is 24 hours of cross stitch weekend, and I would like to cross stitch, but I don't know. I don't know how much time I'll get to it. I do know that on Sundays I do. So my husband's work schedule got changed. So he used to work Mondays through Fridays. Now he works Sunday through Thursdays. So I'm losing my Friday, but I'm gaining my Sundays. So I'll definitely have time to stitch on Sunday. I don't know how Friday and Saturday is going to look, because when he's home, I do stitch when he's home, but I also give him the opportunity if he wants to play something together or watch something, or go somewhere. So I give him that opportunity, but yeah, so I'm not 100% sure what my Fridays and Saturdays are going to look like for moving forward. So I do want to stitch this weekend. So I would like to spend the next few days focusing my time on other things that are on my to-do list. But I am going to go ahead and pull a whip of the week and roll for my next round of Monopoly, even if I don't get to it now, and even if I don't get to it right now, at least it'll be written out and I could come to it when I am ready to stitch. And then what I am doing to pull my whip of the week and or for Monopoly whip cards, it's the same process. So what I'm doing is I had grabbed a regular deck of cards and I've assigned a project to each card, with the exception of all the full set of clubs are just Halloween stitching. So I could either start a new Halloween stitch, or I could work on an existing whip. Um, if you were watching me back in November's when I talked about it actually, before Thanksgiving, I had started a whole bunch of new Halloween projects for October stitching, and there was still a chunk of projects that I didn't get around to starting. So that's what I mean by Halloween new starts. I could get those started so that they're ready to go come this next October. Um, so yeah, clubs are all assigned to that. That can be pulled during Monopoly, but not during a Whip of the Week pull. Whip of the Week pulls is only focusing on existing whips, nothing new, which also means that the Joker cards, which are assigned to new starts, um, those can't be pulled during a Whip of the Week. But yeah, no seasonal stitching for Whip of the Week. It's only existing whips. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna film it or anything, but after I wrap up this video, I'm going to go ahead and roll for round 5 of Monopoly and pull my Whip of the Week. Okay, I paused to grab something real quick. So something that didn't quite make my it should have been on my last video for plans and goals for the year, but a few years ago, when was it? 2023, 20, I feel like it was 2023. Miss Late Pages had posted, Miss Late Pages was doing, what was the Halloween videos, Vlogoween. They were pulling, they had a yarn advent, and the dyer was, I think it was the clue set. I feel like it was the clue set. But I just love the colors. I love the set, and it made me want to learn how to crochet, which is something I had started to learn. I learned how to make chains when I was a teenager, to the point where I could make chains just with my hand without a hook. If you give me a ball of yarn, I could just make a full chain without looking and just, fidgeting. I could fidget, make a chain. That being said, when they posted that, it made me want to learn how to crochet, or try to relearn, whatever. I couldn't figure it out. Like, I could do the chain, but I could never figure out how to double up. I don't know. I don't know the right phrase for it. Anyways, I couldn't get past the chain point. So, so I set it down for a couple of years, and then this year I was considering doing it again, like make it a focus side quest for me to work on this year for 2026. Revisit the idea of learning how to crochet. And then my husband found this at what is it called? Five Below. He found this crocheted wreath, and it was only $5. So I said fine. It was already on my to-do list to do anyways. It was already on my to-do list to learn how to crochet anyways. So he figured that it's not expensive. So if I can't figure it out, it's not that big of a loss. But yeah, I should have mentioned that in my goals, but I forgot about it. So I think that's all for today. I'm going to close it out here, and get this wrapped up so that I could get this up probably tomorrow. No pressure on myself, but maybe I'll try to force myself to vlog for this 24 hours across stitch weekend. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for watching. Until the next one, happy stitching. Bye.